This video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Just kidding. Do I look like a fucking gamer? Fuck that shit. I don't even play games on my phone. No thanks to you. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to see more. What's up, fuckheads and fornicators, and long time no see. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos on here, and my Star Wars Legacy coverage continues.
Oh yeah!
Last video I did the big crossover event that also Legacy's in it too, and it ends with Celeste, Aslan, and of course our hero Cade finally defeating Darth Krayt, or so we think. And so on to volume 7 of Legacy.
Everybody got that?
A shakeup in the Sith leadership has made the galaxy a worse place, not a better one.
Well, duh!
On the planet Dak, the Mon Calamari are still feeling the wrath of Darth Krayt, their punishment for betraying the Sith Empire.
Meanwhile,
A victory has turned sour and possibly deadly. First, Cade Skywalker and the Galactic Alliance comes closer to forming an alliance with deposed Emperor Roan Fel's forces against their mutual enemy. Now, if they can just agree on who that enemy is.
The extreme always seems to make an impression.
It starts off with a big undersea battle with the Mon Calamari and Imperial Knight against 2 Sith, and I was like, oh man, I want to get to Cade. And then the Sith release a Leviathan, and they finally fight it with their devil squid. Turned out pretty good. Like, fuck yeah, be buddies with that shit moment, you know? It was awesome. Then the next part of that is a big space battle with one of Roan Fel's Imperial admirals, an Alliance admiral versus an Imperial Navy. And it was a very confusing battle. The short version of the story is that the Alliance and Roan Fel Imperial win, but so does the Sith Imperials by self-destructive. Yeah, very confusing. It's a 3-fronted assault, you know? It's not just Jedi versus Sith or Imperial versus Rebels. It's Alliance versus Old Emperor versus Sith and everybody in between. And fuck Roan Fel, dude. That's our ally. This man-child, pompous fucking asshole. I hate him. Like, he's considered one of the good guys.
I mean, come on!
I can see what the new canon is really borrowing from with this particular character. How evil's punished after the Empire, and now we have incompetent leadership, but at least he has the Imperial Knights.
And then
We get to the Cade story, where we continue off, where Cade trying to not let Aslan die, and he brings him to Uncle Bantha and their family on that planet. He's all emotional and crazy, gets into bar fights. His cousin tries to arrest him, and they knock her out. The only thing they can think of to keep Aslan alive is to make her a Darth Vader type of cyborg. Then it's Book 8, also known as Tatooine.
what the fuck?
Yeah, what is with Star Wars and Tatooine?
come on!
When's the last time we went to Hoth? When's the last time we went to Endor? Well, I know that we had a whole thing in Endor. Hell, even in fucking the shitty sequel trilogy, they end it with Tatooine for no fucking reason. But yeah, this one makes more sense.
Shut up and get to the point!
Trapped by Imperial agents and targeted by Black Sun assassins, Cade is run to ground on Tatooine, where his 2 most famous ancestors had roots. But even he can evade those who are trying to kill him. Cade can't escape the family legacy. Before this adventure is over, Cade will be forced to think about who he is and who he wants to be, helped along by his mother, his half-sister, and the ghost of Luke Skywalker.
Of course!
Starts off with them being pirates. Black Sun go to rob Imperial Star Cruisers, and then Cade shows up, uses Jedi tricks, and jacks the, totally steals from the fucking Black Sun. Just total piracy shit, right? So they're on the run from Imperials and Black Sun, so they go hide out on Tatooine, and they come up with different scams because apparently they need a part that costs too much money. So they come up with a scam. Have Blue pretend to be a fucking missionary, and then Sin's gonna be picking up on Twi'lek bitches, and then find out they're married. That's fun. And Cade just being Cade.
Meanwhile,
Imperials are onto our heroes, so they send out Gunner and Morgan Core to hunt down Cade. And then big twist is we find out that Gunner is Cade's sister. Oh, and yeah, also Black Sun sent out some of these fucking crazy assassins. Cade does run into Luke's ghost and learns more about his family line and shit. Not bad. I hate how everything has to go back to fucking Tatooine. It's just why? But for what it was, it's cool. I mean, it shows our heroes being pirates, so that's cool. Then we get a final extra story involving Mandalorians for once. Some rogue pilot. You find out he actually was a Mandalorian. His ex-wife wants to kill him, and he ends up leaving the rogue squadron to join his ex-wife to take back Mandalore. And that's basically it with that one. And that is book 8. Before we continue, let's get to today's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. Just kidding. Fuck that shit. I mean, seriously. Fuck these mobile game freemium bullshit. I think South Park pointed out here.
The truth is, a very small percentage of people who download freemium games ever pay anything for them. It's all about finding the heaviest users and extracting the most amount of cash from them. That's how you get addicts to pay $200 for a game that's not even worth 40 cents. But then all our profits come from people with problems. Don't think about that. Think about all the money. Here, have a bump of coke.
Yeah, no thanks to you. And then it's the calm before the storm that is volume 9. And Phelan is a once fertile world transformed by alien biotechnology into a monstrous living nightmare. The planet was the scene of Cade Skywalker, worst failure, and his son Cade's first brush with death. Now Cade and his friends have been lured back to Wayland, where a deadly secret festers, and a life-changing decision awaits.
Meanwhile,
Across the galaxy, a chance for peace erupts into a three-way battle between the Jedi, the Sith, and Roan Fel's Imperial Knights. The galaxy united against the Sith Empire. It starts off with we'll call it the setting up of the Alliance with Admiral Stazi and the Jedi and Roan Fel's people meeting up to, well, set up the Alliance. And they get sabotaged by some Mon Calamari, who we find out later was being threatened, his family being threatened, so he had no other choice than to, well, shoot the Admiral. And so the big old space battle, and, well, you get the idea. Crazy shit. Then we get to the main part of the story, and it has a lot of flashbacks of Cade Skywalker, you know, Cade's dad, how he met up with the leftover remnants of the Yuzhavong, and how their planet terraformers that were using it for good instead of evil, reversing all the stuff that the Yuzhavong did. But we later find out that it was sabotage and they got the blame for it. We find out who did it, and it's pretty stupid putting her on the cover. Yeah, Darth Milady did it. Also, a lot of fan service, we'll say, in a good way. We see the Imperial Knights and the Jedi team up to fight against the Sith. We see big space battles. We see a lot, Cade and Blue finally hook up. Cade finally shows his true feelings to her. And most importantly, we just see Sin use Vong tech. And oh god, I'm not doing this justice. You just gotta fucking read it. It is like the true calm before the storm. We also see basically that, Morgan Cord, or Morgan, Cade's mom, how she is starting to regret. She actually turns against the Sith Empire and joins the Galactic Alliance. She comes to her senses and joins the Jedi and Imperial Knights to fuck up some bad guys. And then it ends with a big cliffhanger. We find out that Darth Krayt is not there at the Korriban place. And next is Volume 10 with the most appropriate name I can think that they can think of again. Cade is back in action as well-leading personal vendetta against the Sith and brought to the brink of having to accept his family's legacy or to die once and for all.
Fuck yeah!
So much shit happens, I can't even list it all. I mean, here's the gist of it. Space battle, more space battles. In fact, the first, I want to say quarter of the book is just mostly space battle. It's the Galactic Alliance versus the Sith Empire, and then the true Empire backs up the Galactic Alliance, and that shit happens because they're finally going there to defend the Mon Calamari for their genocide. We see the result of Darth Assard and the Sith scientists, and then Cade's on the quest to find those two evil fucks because genocide's bad, and more fighting, more battles, more team ups. Princess Marissa gets captured by the Sith, so the Imperial Knights have to rescue her, and then the one Imperial Knight who's madly in love with her decides to pretend to be a Sith and kills a bunch of fucking Sith, and we find out a former Imperial Knight is now a Sith named Darth Havoc, who's the Inquisitor, and most importantly, we find out that Krayt's not really dead, he's just been regenerating, and Talon's been his loyal servant. Darth Warlock is fucking nervous as fuck, and then Cade gets hired by the Hutts to kill Darth Assard and the Sith scientists, and in the process, realizes what his fate is. And that's basically it. Come on! Again, don't want to spoil that for you. You just gotta read it. But it is good. This is what officially was the end of their ongoing series from Dark Horse. That led into a miniseries we're gonna get to real soon. I'd go into detail, but you know, I'm just basically just trolling all of you anyway. So, whatever. I'd say special thanks to the people, but I gotta go on Sub Pals and YT Pals just to try to get 100 views on here because the algorithm could start coming soon. Oh, I'm doing a deep, insane, deep dive into the entire lore of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Because if you didn't know this, back in 2012, I tried to start a disaster area tribute band.
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy notes that a disaster area, the plutonium band, the Agriculture mine zones, is generally held to be not only the loudest rock band in the galaxy, but in fact the loudest noise of any kind at all. Oh yeah!
I know that I've been promising you guys Elric. Also got some leads for a gentleman. I also got the Predator Omnibus by Dark Horse Comics, because fuck Disney, fuck Marvel. That lore is badass. They actually gave the lore to Predator, you know, in Dark Horse Comics. I also got Axe Cop and a bunch of other things, so stay tuned on that shit.
Plus the fucking message is bomb.com.
Chaos is a ladder. Shout out to our patrons, in order of importance, the Shadow Vessel, the Fly Attractor, Janitor Jake, Count Morivond, Gary Mossberg, and of course Ryan Zacher. If you have any opinions on what I'm saying, like and comment. Just say some shit in the comments. I need more hate mail anyway, because apparently the only way I actually get views is when I piss people off.
The universe is there to help us. It's not a fucking miracle worker.
And only by admitting what we are can we get what we want.